Hello everybody! Welcome to the Nocturnal Gaming Network. My name is Xeriua and today we're playing Assassin's Creed number 3. So, after the horrible news that our ancestor Haytham Kenway is a Templar, we find ourselves back in the modern day. And, basically, we're here, we get to talk to a couple people, we get to look around, do some stuff, and then we're going to go see what Juno wants over there, because it's really weird that she's here. And yeah, so we'll start with Rebecca, we'll talk with William over there, our father, and then Sean's somewhere, so we'll talk to him too. What's up, Rebecca? Oh, what is this?
Lots of different stuff. If you're going into the field, we need a way to keep tabs on you and stay in touch. Hacking into local security systems won't cut it.
Thanks.
For what?
I don't know. Everything. You've sacrificed a lot for me. You and Sean both. I mean, you upgraded the Animus, you helped train me, pulled me out of that coma. You put all that work into the database and helped me solve Clay's puzzles. I know I haven't been the easiest person to work with, and I'm sorry for that. I just want you to know that even if I'm shitty at showing it, I appreciate everything you've done.
Okay.
You really think we'll finally get some answers down here?
Maybe. Talking to the first Civ has always been a pain in the ass, though.
Imagine what it must be like for them.
What do you mean?
They've been separated from us by tens of thousands of years. A completely different language and culture. Possessed of an intelligence vastly superior to our own. We're lucky they've communicated as much as they have.
I don't know why they had to make this all so complicated. I mean, if they need something from me, they should just come out and say it.
I've been wondering about that myself. I get the sense Juno and Minerva didn't exactly see eye to eye. I'm studying everything I can get my hands on, but maybe you'll find something down here that can shed light on the mystery. What happened between them, and why?
Interesting. What else do you have to say, Rebecca?
What do you think's behind that door?
No idea.
Do you think it can save us?
The first Civ seemed to think so.
What if it's dangerous?
It's not like we have a lot of alternatives.
Well, we could... I don't know, warn the president?
And what's he gonna do? Who's to say he isn't in bed with Abstergo? Seems everyone is these days.
What if we went to them? To Abstergo, I mean.
I thought about it, actually. Showing them what we've seen, trying to work together. They must know so much more than we do, but...
What is it?
It's possible they know exactly what's going to happen. That they want it to happen. I mean, for all we know, they're hiding out in bunkers right now, waiting for the world to end. And then, when it's all over, out they come. Ready to take control.
God, I hope you're wrong.
So do I, Rebecca. So do I.
That would be just like the Templars.
Alright, I should be getting back to work.
Okay, so it seems...
Sorry, Desmond, a little busy right now. Let's talk later.
Alright, it seems like Rebecca doesn't want to talk to us. What's this computer here? Mission replay, received messages. Oh, dear. So we have all sorts of messages to read. Okay. 30, 30, 31, 31, 11, 1. Okay, so we need to start here. From Rebecca Crane, we have patch notes. Interesting way to start an email. Hey, yo. Had a little bit of downtime while you were gone, so I figured that what I could do to upgrade the operating system. It's actually been ready for a little while now, but with the Animus in safe mode, I wasn't about to try an installation. Things I did. Actually, it should be we, since I had a few people in the other cells chip in. Modification to the targeting system. You should be able to move in and out of combat more easily. Yeah, I think you screwed that one up because I have a hell of a time getting out of combat now. Free running improvements. You're less likely to jump at the wrong time in the wrong direction. Yeah, I also don't see that one, but whatever. Only one input for interacting with the world. No more choosing between parts of the ancestor's body. You can assassinate while moving. Definitely try it out. Yep. Ooh, pick up weapons on the go. That's good to know. Implemented a weather system. Cool. Animals. Nuff said. Okay. Faster fast travel. Just open your map and you can instantly travel to any unlocked fast travel station. That's cool. Revamp of the map. Now it's hard to use. Oh wait, now it provides a lot of additional information and you've got more control over what it shows. Sure. Tons of other stuff, but your dad is yelling at me to get back to work, so I better wrap this up. I'll hit you up on the other side as you come across new features. Perfect. So, first of all, welcome back. Oh, by the way, this is Sean Hastings about the database to Desmond Miles. First of all, welcome back. It's good to see you fully recovered. Can't imagine what it was like for you trapped in there. If you ever want to chat about it, you just let me know. Anyway, you'll find the database essentially unchanged aside from a few cosmetic upgrades. As before, you'll receive a notification when I've added a new entry. I'll also let you know if any of the entries are updated. Good, as it often the case when dealing with these conspiratorial ancestors of yours. Yes, William Miles, the mission. So, he's sending this to everyone. I know it's easy to get distracted while inside the Animus, but I'm hoping everyone can stay focused here. We need to find the key as soon as possible. Also, do not go exploring the temple without first clearing it with me, and carry your headsets with you at all times. Can't afford to lose anyone because curiosity got the better of them. We're short-handed as is. Sean Hastings, balls. We've got a visitor down here. It's Juno. She's been appearing every now and again, sort of flits through the air, reminds us to guard you well, and find the key, blah blah, and then poof, disappears. At first we thought it was just another holographic recording, but then your father called her some rather choice words, and she glared at him, honest, swiveled those eyes in his direction and frowned. Okay, I don't know if she's reaching out to us from the past, if it's some part of her is actually still conscious, or if maybe she's inside the apple, like some evil genie. Whatever it is gives me the creeps. And on that note, happy Halloween. So Sean on Haytham's amulet. Though I suppose Haytham's amulet is technically a piece of Eden, it's not particularly exciting. It functions as a key as well. That's about it. I know, we're all used to those things being incredibly powerful and thus rather dangerous, but this one is neither. It is weird Is it weird that I'm disappointed? That said, it's critical to our mission, so I suppose that counts for something. Sean Hastings, with frowny faces. Good Lord, Rebecca, with all these fixes and updates and improvements you're supposed to put into this recent software revision, one would think that you would have had a decency to include a British English dictionary in the spell checker. Of course, we have to save the world, and they're complaining about proper English. Some of us prefer to use proper language when corresponding. The database keeps trying to replace the letter S with Z in certain words, and it declares war on the letter U as well. Realize becomes realize, and color becomes color becomes color. Wrong. Oops. It's all rather ethnocentric, if you ask me. Also quite against the principles of the Brotherhood, the Assassin Brotherhood. Last I checked, and here I thought we were meant to all be an inclusive bunch. So, Rebecca, to everyone about email fixing. Just a quick heads up, replying to email chains will no longer return multiple instances of the word re. Should cut down on the subject length considerably. Okay. Sean is replying to everyone. Are you sure about that? See above. Just a quick heads up. Oh, this is hers. This is her email. Okay, so Rebecca's replying back. Ha ha, very funny, Sean. And oh, this is William replying to the two of them. Focus, please. And then we have Rebecca to everyone. Hey there, Desmond. As you'll see from the date of this email, you've been in the Animus for a few days now, but don't worry, I've been staying on top of your vitals, not even a blip, so it looks like extending the sessions won't be a problem. Whatever happened between you and 16 seems to have increased your tolerance. The Animus keeps you in a resting state, which takes care of fatigue, and your memories are vivid enough we're actually seeing micro movements in your muscles, which means no atrophy issues either. Still, we'll be bringing you out for breaks just to stay on the safe side. Yes, that's great, Rebecca. Thank you so much. We need to find William Miles. Where is he? He was right over here somewhere. There's Sean. Oh, there he is. I don't know where he was. He was hiding. What's up, Dad?
Yes? Just thought I'd, say hi.
You have more important things to do right now.
Jesus, Dad.
What? What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Hi, son. How are you? What have you been up to?
I know what you've been up to. Nothing. You wasted away in some shitty apartment with a pointless job, while the rest of us were out there fighting to make a difference.
You are such an asshole. Are you thinking about hitting me again? Because this time, I will hit back.
Let's just get back to work, okay? Stop wasting time.
Okay, so our dad
Speaking
doesn't.
Desmond.
Our dad doesn't really have anything to say. Just kind of, an asshole. But it seems like that's normal, Alright, we gotta talk with Sean real quick. And then we will go see what Minerva wants. Sean, what's up, man?
Would you look at that?
What is it?
If I had to guess, I would say it's a counter. And judging from the iconography, I think it's safe to say when that's emptied, the end begins.
Well, that sucks. What is over there, though?
Hello, Desmond. How's things?
Same old. Another day, another ancestor.
Who'd have thought you'd have a Templar in your family tree?
I think he started out as an assassin. They must have turned him.
Right you are, in fact. I've been reviewing our archives, and it appears that Haytham's father was indeed an assassin, which means he was likely one too, at least for a little while.
What else did you find?
That fella from the opera, Reginald Birch, Grand Master of the London chapter of Templars, he and Haytham's father, a man named Edward, well, they were long-time rivals. Now, it appears Birch got his hands on Haytham at a rather young age. Worked his wiles to convince Haytham to switch sides. Wonder how he did it. I'll see if I can't dig up more.
That'd be great.
Honest answer, please, Desmond. Do you think we're getting out of this alive?
I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty tall order. If the first Civ couldn't save the world, how the hell are we supposed to swing it?
We have some time.
We have less than 2 months. They had decades and a lot more resources. And the worst part is we knew this was coming for, what, hundreds of years?
History repeats, it seems. The first Civ was so busy with their war against us, no one even noticed what was happening. We get advance warning and then fall to fighting with the Templars. Lovely.
Hopefully, whatever's behind that door will make a difference.
And if it doesn't, well, at least we tried. Back to work I go. You should consider doing the same.
Yes, we will do the same. We will do the same. Alright, so let's go see Minerva here because she seems like she wanted something. What's this? Can I do anything with this? Can I steal that battery? No, I cannot. Interesting. Okay, what's up, Minerva? Oh, I'm just getting back into the Animus. Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
All right, here goes.
Undan nizero het stanyu. Awira awa unte yard on jadagun. Tone warda nagarade. Desajera nero niha. Nekti yate huwayata nekera. Azekante jajera oni. Nekti ya otena degari wastakwe. Agungwe da sun a wahuan nordunque ziniot nesagodea ogun. Zewajerda sriat dizax ne Haytham. Raganero quaque unte zinito guenyo. Nek zi ohando yo hawihtun ya de haganeraque. Zinuero jokwa Templar alguego tadinero darhox. Ne ha at getsanis. Zigatke sun arian a higunsa gandanu agat gato zine sagar scanex.
Alright, so we are somewhere. Kanhatashitan. In 1760, I think that was.
Is it one day stuff?
Onisa Jerdha.
Ya otana gwanek gwanek.
Ratonhnhaké, te wat kalichi runyana. Runajagero na daratu tanu yakodunis.
How was? Nexi dosa izi nakahanda di yahaze.
Okay. No better than beasts. Special map available in shops.
Hi, Star.
Okay, so we are here, wherever here is. Ooh, and actually, we should probably read these databases, because they would probably tell us where we are. Hold on. Let's do that. I'm sure we have a few. Oh boy, we have... Oh dear, we do have a couple. Okay, so let's start here with the Battle of Fort Necessity. So, here we are. This was one of the opening battles in the French and Indian War. It's important that the opening battles are quite exciting, otherwise everyone is just sort of loses interest. In 1754, George Washington was sent to the head of the Ohio River Valley with a group of Virginia militia. The land there was contested territory between the British colonists and the French. Washington's mission was to retake Fort Duquesne and drive French forces out of the area. Washington and his troops attacked a French patrol at Jumonville Glen. In what would be the first acts of violence in the war, Washington expected a return attack, and so had his troops build a palisade wall surrounding their supplies, a fort of necessity, hence the name, but they might as well have called it Fort of Inadequacy because supplies ran low and the militia and the British regular reinforcements were quickly overwhelmed. On July 4th, Washington surrendered and was allowed to retreat, and someone else was put in charge of naming forts. It was Washington's only military surrender, though he had plenty of strategic retreats. PR Spin was alive and well even then. Alright. So we have John Fraser. Who is John Fraser? John Fraser, although spelled Fraser or Frazier, was a Scottish-born trader living in the area of Fort Duquesne during the French and Indian War, and a participant in the Braddock Expedition. Ooh, we have to read about that, because that was the one from the last episode. Fraser left Scotland some time after 1745, possibly because of political trouble. The Frasers had supported the Stuarts, who were on the losing end of the rebellion. He set up trade on the upper Allegheny River, but was quickly run out of his cabin by the French. He moved further down the river near modern-day Pittsburgh, built a new cabin, and continued to trade. Fraser was one of the settlers building a fort on the site of Fort Duquesne near his own land when the French took over again. Fraser supplied Washington's attempts to reclaim the fort in 1754, which was followed by the defeat at Fort Necessity, and served as chief scout during the Braddock expedition. After Braddock failed, Fraser gave up on the area, depriving the French of a third opportunity to chase him off his land, so I suppose that's a small victory. He moved to Tarascora Valley before finally settling at Fort Bedford. Alright, George Washington, born in 1732. Here's a name even you should recognize. Well, thanks for your vote of confidence, Sean. George Washington, who will go on to be the leader of the Army during the American Revolution and the first President of the United States. I was going to say you probably knew everything I'm going to tell you, but that would be a lie. What you know is that George Washington had a lot of things named after him, and anything else you learned in school you forgot because you thought you'd never use it in real life. You should call your history teacher and tell her she was right all along. George Washington was the son of a planter from Virginia. He was raised with little education, but was ambitious, teaching himself mostly from books. Washington started in business early, speculating on land starting at the age of 18. When he was 20, his older brother died, leaving him the heir to the family plantation at Mount Vernon, where he lived until his death, and where you can still visit his grave today. Washington got his military start during the French and Indian War, leading an expedition to Fort Duquesne in 1754, a destination he never reached, having surrendered at Fort Necessity. The next year, Washington headed to Fort Duquesne again, this time as a guide for the Edward Braddock during the ill-fated Braddock expedition. Washington went as a volunteer, hoping that working for Braddock would get him a track to military promotion. Though the battle was a rout, Washington earned credit for organizing the retreat, and later that year was made a colonel in charge of the Virginia militia. Washington completely revamped the militia with hopes that under his organization and training they would be accepted into the British military. They never were. Washington resigned his post in 1758. I won't say too snubly to his contempt for the British, but snubs rarely help. By the late 1760s, Washington had become an active political life, taking on a role in the Virginia House of Burgess. He went out to be a member of the Continental Congress, and when war broke out in 1775, he was Congress's choice to lead the army. At the time, Washington said, "I do not think myself equal to the command I am honored with," which I'm sure inspired complete confidence in everyone who heard it. Imagine if you were on an airplane and the captain opened with that. It is possible Washington was being falsely modest, but the fact is this: he wasn't a military genius, and he knew it, though I'm sure it hurts your American pride to hear me say he wasn't perfect. Washington had several narrow misses where the army could have easily been obliterated. At Manhattan, and again at Brandywine, among others, Washington won an early victory when he broke the siege of Boston, but he then made a disastrous move of fortifying New York, a city he couldn't defend without a navy he didn't have. Even you can work that one out, and spent the later half of 1776 retreating across New York and New Jersey, losing battle after battle until Christmas, when he pulled off a successful surprise attack on the Hessian troops at Trenton. And while that battle makes up some famous paintings, it did rally the flagging confidence of the public. It was a minor victory in the war. Okay, so we have the Braddock expedition. The battle was part of the French and Indian War. In it, Edward Braddock's force of 1,500 British regulars and militia was decimated by a French-led troop half its size. If this is not something we can Oh, this is not something we talk about much in Britain. Braddock had been sent to capture Fort Duquesne at the top of the Ohio River. His officers included a young George Washington, possibly because Washington knew the area, having surrendered at Fort Necessity the year before. Braddock's troops were about 10 miles from the Fort Duquesne when they were ambushed by a group of French and indigenous fighters. Braddock's advanced troops were overwhelmed and fell back into the main body of the army. His rear guard didn't hear the order to stop and kept advancing into the main body of the army. The result was chaos. Almost every one of his officers was killed, with the exception of Washington. Braddock himself was fatally wounded. Washington had him carried from the field, and he died 4 days later. An interesting historical note: Braddock gave his officer's sash to George Washington, asking him to preserve it. Washington did. It's still on display at Mount Vernon. The battle is also known as Braddock's defeat, but interestingly, no one knows why. I'm kidding, though if you need me to tell you why, I don't think you're really cut out for this. Okay, so we have the Abenaki people. The Abenaki nation originated in what is now northern New England and the southern Canadian Maritimes. Although it's suggested they're only one nation may be a bit of a misnomer, since Abenaki can refer to numerous groups from the same approximate geographic area and language family. Algonquin, since you asked. And I'm from Maine, so I mean, these guys are my backyard here. Well, sort of most of this game is. Although the various Abenaki would join together during crisis events, like when they were under attack from other nations, for the most part they had no central authority. That's probably partly what caused the encroachment of British colonists on their land. The British would have liked to have formal governments and they could negotiate treaties with. It's just so much more civilized, and sometimes there are canopies. So, from the colonist perspective, no central government meant that the Abenaki had no claim to the land. Of course, they could have found out otherwise, but that would have taken work and been complicated, and perhaps most importantly, the Abenaki might have said no. While the Abenaki tried to remain neutral during the French and Indian War, they were quite literally caught between the warring British and French colonies, so some conflict was inevitable. For the most part, they sided with the French, who were less responsible for driving them from their homeland. The lesser of two evils, I suppose you could say. Though that sentence I never thought I'd say about the French. Alright, so we have... we get a couple more. We have the Lenape, also called the Lenni Lenape, or the Delaware. Before Europe colonization, the Lenape lived mostly along the banks of the Delaware River in what's modern-day New Jersey and Pennsylvania. The Lenape were the first nation to come into contact with the Europeans, most significantly with William Penn, who founded Pennsylvania. With a stroke of luck, given his name, well, the Lenape relationship with Penn was mostly peaceful. When Penn died, his sons forced most of the Lenape off their land in a deal known as the Walking Purchase. During the French and Indian War, the Lenape sided primarily with the French, though some individual groups would later leave to join the British. In 1778, they were the first to sign a land treaty with the Continental Congress, agreeing to provide scouts to the army in exchange for supplies. I imagine they simply liked fine cheeses and onions. Okay. The newly formed United States showed its gratitude by eventually moving the Lenape into isolated communities in Ohio and southern Canada. How wonderfully thoughtful. It's awful how we, sort of relocated all of the Native Americans off their land. The Shawnee. At the time of the French and Indian War, the people of the Shawnee Nation were mostly living in and around the Ohio Valley and the territory surrounding Fort Duquesne. Traditionally, their hunting grounds have extended into Pennsylvania and Virginia, but they were slowly being moved from their lands by the advancing line of British colonists. Hoping to stop or at least slow settlement, some of the Shawnee entered the war, siding with the traditional trading partners, that is the French. By 1758, some Shawnee negotiated peace with the British in the Treaty of Easton. However, that treaty wasn't respected, and if you know anything about colonial history, you're probably sadly unsurprised at that fact. Yeah, leading to another war, Pontiac's Rebellion in 1763. By the time the American Revolution started, many of the Shawnee opted to remain neutral, although some sided with the British, again hoping to push back the colonists. Unfortunately, the result was the same as many other indigenous peoples. The Shawnee were forced to leave their lands, with the majority eventually settling in Oklahoma. Good Lord, settling in Oklahoma, as if their story couldn't get any worse. Never been to Oklahoma, so I wouldn't know. So Edward Braddock updated. Alright, now let's see, we read that part. Where's the update? Okay, so here's the update. It was George Washington who carried Braddock from the field on his sash, which Braddock then entrusted to Washington. That carrying may sound a bit odd, but the sash is bigger than it looks. More than 3 meters long and doubled as a field hammock. It says something about officers that they'd wear a piece of clothing designed to carry their body off the battlefield, which would also single them out for getting shot at. The ways of war are mysterious. Braddock died of his injuries a few days later. Washington kept the sash. Here's something interesting. Because of concerns that enemy soldiers would desecrate Braddock's body, he was buried under the road so the wagons would run over the earth and hide the gravesite. In 1804, road workers rediscovered the remains and they were moved to another site, which is now marked by a marble monument. Okay, so we have the Ratonhnhaké Nation territory. More commonly known these days as Mohawk Valley, this valley follows the Mohawk River as it runs between Catskill and the Adirondack Mountains. It is part of the territory of the Ratonhnhaké, sometimes known as the Mohawk in English, hence the name. The valley also happens to be the only natural route from the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes, meaning it was one easy way to get from the coast into frontier territory and up into Canada. This made the valley incredibly strategically important during the French and Indian War and during the Revolutionary War. And by strategically important, I mean the valley was confiscated territory and contested territory and regularly raided. Most of the settlements in there were raised during the Revolutionary War. Actually, the damage to the surrounding farmland was so bad that food had to be shipped into the areas from the south. The revolution is known in the area as the Burning of the Valleys. That says it all, really. So then we have Ratonhnhaké. So a friend of the Ratonhnhaké is Connor, and I will have to listen to his name, so hopefully I can pronounce it correctly. A friend of Ratonhnhaké from the same village, the two boys were the same age and members of the same clan, making them cousins, though the connection may have been somewhat distant. The boys were inseparable throughout their childhood, with Ratonhnhaké being more conservative of the two. That is, Ratonhnhaké would be the one to get them in trouble, and Ratonhnhaké would try to talk them out of it. Yes. Okay. So, do we have anything more here? We have the... Oh, we do have some more. Oh dear. Concord. This was the regulars' destination when they set out from Boston on the day of the battles of Lexington and Concord. Inside the town, the British found cannons, flour, salt food, and musket balls. They broke the cannons, threw the rest into the local mill pond. A bad idea, since the local residents retrieved most of it later undamaged. Okay. In their zeal, the regulars also accidentally, set fire to the local meeting house. It happens, and then joined the Bucket Brigade to help put it out. At least they had honored these regulars. However, the local militia saw the smoke and thought the regulars had set fire to the whole town. The militia marched in, causing a battle with the regulars at the North Bridge just outside of town. It was a comedy of errors with very little comedy. The battle at the North Bridge Battle was immortalized in the Concord Hymn, a popular poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson lived in Concord in the 1830s, which probably made him a bit biased. He refers to the fighting at the bridges as the shot heard round the world, a bit of an overstatement since the first shot of the war had been fired at Lexington hours before. Maybe he'd been napping. You know how poets are like. Alright, do we... other... trading posts. Yeah, we'll get these some other time. We get some other people, some groups, grenadiers, you know. Alright, let's get on with our childhood excursion. Follow the other children into the forest. What's up, guys? Maybe we should go back.
Dananera dietine kera, nungue, runsa nage, de what tirat kawas. Wagari huarge di ot starla, ganatanyadu, radinagade.
Oh, some deer. Alright, so what are we doing out here, guys? Besides chasing deer away.
Anahoda de what karitsu dunyane.
Yogoda setuga. Haha, Zora gohadu.
Gee, that sucks. You're it. Alright, so we're it.
Aska degani asangayeri.
Alright, so we're counting
Aska
to...
dewat nyawe.
We're counting to 100, and we have to find the other kids now. I feel like Connor could use a bath here, so we've got clues, and we need to analyze the clues to find our friends. Alright. Find all the children without making a mistake. Okay. So, we have some clues here. What's going on? Find all the children within the given time. Okay. So we have 3 minutes to find everyone. Search zone narrowed. Oh, I see. So as we analyze the clues, we narrow down the search zone. Okay, you weren't really hiding that good, but whatever. So, what's going on over here? It's this way. Oh, we have another clue over here that's really close. No, we can't. We gotta do this in an order. Gotta make sure that we, you know, go from one place to the other. These kids are leaving footprints everywhere. Oh. I guess they're in there. He's hungry. Me too. So what's next? Do we just kind of make our way over here? Yeah. Looks like it. Let's start with this one because they were heading this way. So I think we're going to do this. Yeah, you better do better next time. All right. We'll go this way, and then we will come up here, and we can analyze this clue. Okay. So, where could they possibly be? I feel like I missed a clue or something, because it didn't narrow it down all the way. I wonder if... Let's see if there's any other clues real quick. Can't believe you found me? Oh, okay. Well, I found you. It was easy. Alright, I don't see anything else. so based on that last clue, I think we're going to go over here. I think the child is in this. Yes! That's it. I gotcha. Alright. That's everyone. So now we need to go back over to here, right? Not the best idea for the night. Okay. Okay, so sounds like they're ready for their next hiding place. Where are we going? We're here. We drawing straws? Or sticks, not straws.
Oscar, Degani, Asa, Gayerdi, Whisk, Yayak.
Alright, so let's go to this one up. Ooh, or do I want to go to this one? 47. Let's go like as far as we can. I think going further away is going to be better. Ooh, a fox. Good thing the fox is running away from me. Alright, let's hide in this one.
I look forward to it.
Oh, dear. Why? Why would they be doing this to the natives after they saved them? I don't know. But particularly, why would they, like, attack a young native child out in the woods and then, choke him and beat him? Makes no sense to me. Alright. Oh no. They've set our village on fire? Run the other way, Fox. No, run away, dear. Oh no. Okay, we need to go this way. Come on, you can do it. Oh, I thought we were moving it out of the way, but we're just walking underneath it. Okay, let's okay. We need to find our mother.
Ratonhnhaké dun. Kohnu guadi.
How can I get in? No. Maybe I can go around. This is terrible. There we go. Come on. Come on.
Yahta, John. Onak ti on Sadego. Onak.
Yazik andere.
So di onaga ona. Zet fatstek. Ratonhnhaké du. Onak ti on zatni gonrat zatni duhage.
Dodek.
Osedek. Toga zun haak. Osesege. Nekti sa deri ondara. Dinawe. Andini kwe gunhage.
Ya, zadaressa, da kwatka. Da giriu, akenyagante.
No. That's an awful way to end our nice childhood game of hide and seek.
Oh, naga isa. Dato wag ni kong ronin. Sa dadawin na daon ka?
Not quite. I feel like here's a great time to end the video. And it looks like we have grown up quite a fair bit, I should say. And so has our friend there, Kanye Heat Khan, or Kanye To Khan, I think it was. And yeah, next time when we return, we will go through and we will do, stuff. We'll climb some trees. We've got to do something with our friend there. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. My name's Xeriua, and this is the Nocturnal Gaming Network, bringing you Assassin's Creed 3. Have yourselves a wonderful night, everybody.